My name is Dave Wilhelm. I'm an instructor in the Business Administration Department at Wake Tech Community College in Raleigh, North Carolina. The topic I'd like to talk about is the decoy effect. But when I started thinking about it, I realized you can't really talk about the decoy effect unless you also talk about relative decision making. The topics are the source, where I got some of my information, what inspired me, relative decision making, a bread maker example, and a social application, and then an example using flash drives. My source is Dan Ariely, and he has written a number of books. The two that I really liked best were The Upside of Irrationality, which has a bread maker example that I'll tell you about, and basically provided the inspiration for me to delve into the decoy effect a little more. Also, Predictably Irrational. We are irrational, but predictably so. I found both of these books just fascinating and rather inspiring. So the bread maker example that I picked up from Predictably Irrational talks about a company that came out with a bread maker. And it was a nice bread maker, but it wasn't selling well. I think it was priced around $200 or $250. My solution, of course, would have been to come up with a cheaper model and hope that would sell. The solution that Mr. Ariely describes in his book is that they came up with a higher priced model. Okay, if the lower priced model doesn't sell, why are people going to be buying a higher priced model? Well, they're not. But now they have something to compare it to. Before, the decision was, should I buy a bread maker or not? And the decision has been converted to, should I buy a high-priced bread maker or a low-priced bread maker? And apparently, often enough, the decision was to buy that lower-priced bread maker. A social application. If you would like to attract members of the group of your affection, you can certainly go out on your own and do your best. However, based on this relative decision-making concept, find a friend who is slightly less attractive than you are. Now the objects of your affection will not just say, should I go out with him or not? Now it'll be, should I go out with him or him? And since you're moderately more attractive, at least you think so, you've given the objects of your affection a relative decision to make, and hopefully it will go your way. What you have to look out for is that if a slightly more attractive friend asks you to go out with him or her, they may be setting you up, using you for the relative decision-making topic. Okay, it's a little silly, but you may get the idea. Flash drives are pretty much a commodity anymore. They used to be very expensive. Approximately, they go for $1 a gigabyte anymore, although in a Sunday ad, I saw a 64 gigabyte flash drive going for $32, but maybe that's a back-to-school special. At any rate, the price memory size curve is something like that. Sure, it'll curve a little bit, but come on, I'm trying to illustrate a principle. If we would like to increase the sales of an existing product, say that one right there, we can advertise it, we can have a sale, or we can bring in a decoy. And we might position a decoy right there. Okay, how's that going to help? Won't people just buy the red decoy instead of the regular one? Well, we're pretty smart, and somebody's likely to notice that this decoy has fewer gigabytes, and it costs more. So, being somewhat rational, we would not buy that decoy. However, we would notice in our relative decision-making vote that this green one has more gigabytes and costs less. So presumably we would be being steered to buy the one that the store would like us to buy. If we bring in a new product that we would like to encourage the sales, this one here, it's positioned close enough to another one that it just begs for a comparison. And in this case, our new product has more gigabytes, fewer dollars. So let me see, which one am I going to buy? We would tend to buy this one. So if we bring in a worse model that's fairly close for comparison's sake, it's a decoy. If we bring in a better one that's fairly close to an existing one, we're probably going to encourage sales of that based on the relative decision-making concept. That's it. I hope you got a little bit out of this and enjoyed it. My name is Dave Wilhelm. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email.